like it, and I didn't hit record. I didn't hit record. Why, hello everyone. Why, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Frosto Talks. I'm your host, Frosto. I wanted to start out by giving a special thank you to all of my viewers, listeners, friends, and followers. The ongoing support is beyond appreciated, and honestly, has me more motivated than ever to continue giving you the best I can in content, information, and fun. To all the new listeners and followers, welcome. I hope you enjoy the show, and I hope I can help in any way. Now, in today's episode of Frosto Talks, I wanted to talk about something that might come off a little controversial, and to some, maybe even a bit triggering. Understand, it is not my intent to come off insensitive, merely an attempt to give you a different perspective, and, well, help you look at the brighter side of things. Piggybacking off last week's episode on accountability, live now on the YouTube channel and all podcast platforms, I wanted to give you an example of how I apply and have applied the methods discussed last week into my own life. So, with that being said, let's roll right into it. Why I'm grateful for 2020. That's right. I said it. Listen, I know 2020 kicked us all in the dick, all right? Some harder than others. But as we near the anniversary of the 2 weeks of flattening the curve, let's discuss some of the good that's come out of it. We can all agree that this didn't end up becoming the 28 days later Walking Dead we all feared it to be. But at the start, it was a little sketchy. So, let's start there. The beginning, a year ago. Before terms like social distancing and mask up were the norm, we honestly took a lot for granted. Everything from visiting family out of state to dining in at our favorite restaurants. Before the lockdowns, how many of us were really ready? I mean, truly prepared? Well, I can tell you, based on that whole toilet paper fiasco, yeah, you remember, not many were. My favorite expression is, you never have to get ready if you stay ready. And while I'm no John Rambo, I had some of the basics that, in my opinion, everyone should have. Without getting too detailed on this part, as I'd like to leave the meat and potatoes for another episode plan, being a gray man, I knew my family was set. God forbid shit really hit the fan. I knew we'd probably be better off than most. But what I want to talk about today is the resilience. The resilience we all had to apply to get through this past year. The creativity we all needed to develop, from the simplest things like keeping our kids entertained to creating another source of income. And let's not forget the patience. The patience we all needed to apply and exercise to get through, well, almost everything. From Zoom meetings to being on hold on the phone with unemployment for some, to that in-home learning. Parents, where you at? I know you feel me on this one. I swear to you, when my wife had to teach my oldest son fractions, I thought I was going to come home to a fucking bloodbath. But we did it. We persevered. We got through it together as a family. They say to truly, truly appreciate beauty, you must know what chaos looks like. One of my greatest idols, Tim Kennedy, Special Forces Army Ranger, veteran UFC fighter, and honestly just overall badass, says he appreciates the beauty around him because he's seen the horror of war. That not only makes him appreciate this country, but it doesn't allow him to take much for granted around him. I don't know about you, but 2020 made me thank Big Guns Upstairs for all the blessings, for all the good I still had in my life. And mind you, it was no walk in the park. Again, I know 2020 hit some of us harder than others, but if you made it out in one piece, you's a bad motherfucker for it. So let's celebrate our victories. We lived and are living through history right now. When our kids are older and they read about the 10 years worth of what the fuck we survived in 2020, we'll honestly look back at this and laugh. Now, with that being said, one of the things I'm most thankful for in 2020 was exposing people's true characters. Listen, I often pride myself on being a man of the people, but when shit gets real, your circle is the only people you can count on. And, well, there's some of you that I just wouldn't want in my foxhole. No offense, no disrespect, no hard feelings. But if you lack the ability to adapt, you become a liability and not an asset. So this is why it's so important to learn, research, and prepare. You can't expect others to take care of you and your family. Accountability, folks. You're going to hear it over and over. Who knows? Maybe that's why I was able to focus on the good when so many people were worried about the little things. I remember telling my son, who's a very perceptive and very aware young man, you see what's going on, right? You see how people are acting. And he replied, yes, Dad. I try to use even that moment as a learning experience to show him how important it is to be prepared. I pray to God that my children never have to experience what we're going through right now. But if they did, I am confident they will stay as cool as a cucumber because Dad taught them how to always be ready. All of this was only possible because of 2020. Because 2020 was the shit show that it was. And you know what's the best thing and the greatest thing about rock bottom? You can only go from there, baby. So, buck up, champ. Be grateful for the good that came out of 2020 in your life. And if you're one of those, well, what good could have possibly come out of fill in the blank? You have way worse problems than anything 2020 could have thrown at you. Because no matter the year, you have to live with that mindset. I promise you, if you focus on the good in your darkest moments, you will prevail. You will succeed. It'll be enough strength to get you through whatever you think is the worst possible thing happening to you right now. Because that's all it is. It's the worst possible thing happening right now. Follow me as I take you down a trip down memory lane. And I hope not to get too sidetracked with this one. But there's this one time where I may or may not have crashed my car into the tree. For some reason, I thought it would be a great idea to book it, to leave, just off impulse. Well, once I left the scene of the accident, I then thought it would be a great idea to call the cops and report my car stolen. Allegedly. As you can imagine, that didn't work out too well for me. What I remember most to this day was the phone call I made to my mom when I uttered the infamous words of my youth. Mom, I fucked up. I remember that being one of the worst times of my life at the time. To bring this back full circle, there are moments in life when you could think back and now laugh because of how much you've grown, how much you've learned, how much you've matured. More importantly, how much you've overcome. Because you are resilient. And don't you forget it. So let's look back at 2020 and be grateful. Be grateful for the lessons. And above all else, believe in yourself. Because I do. Till next time, folks. I hope you have a great day.